Hello everyone and welcome to the skin showcase for the Syndra Patch. My name is Link, your host, and we are going to start off with Special Forces Gangplank. Now, from what I know, there's really nothing different in all of his extra animations, and I see nothing that's actually been changed. Now, as for actual Gangplank, we have his oranges that look the exact same, or at least from what I know, and Raise Morale, which has a really cool particle around the hands. Now, as for his parlay, he actually puts his gun over his blade when he does it, as you can see here, and we have a different projectile being fired. So that is a change. Now, as for the ultimate, let's send this out. We actually have spotlights and missiles, which is kind of amazing. Now, if we keep doing some abilities, we'll see that they're about the same. As for his basic attack, it is a normal basic attack, and he does it the way he should. Now, let me go real quickly get some crit, and I'll be right back. He also does have a custom return animation. Now, as for his walking animation and textures, they look pretty good from what I can see. I don't see any issues, and they look rather solid. Now, we're about walking back to Ramus at this point, and we're going to see what some of his crit animations look like. So from what I see, they are his normal Gangplank crit animations where they just use parlay instead of anything else. Okay, so that is that. On to the next. Now we have Jax in his Nemesis skin, and from what I see, it looks pretty interesting, although it is going against his lore since he does have a real weapon. These are all the exact same as we come to know with normal Jax. So let's walk over here and go beat on Ramus. So with this basic attack, it's not really any different except there is blood coming off the target. Now let's zoom out a little bit and let's Q jump. We see purple particles as he does jump and a little bit of blood upon impact. Let's do that one more time. And now we have his add-on for his basic attack, which is the Empowered Strike. I think, power, and it looks about the same. It just has the purple glow instead of yellow. Let's do it one more time. So that is what we see for that. Now, as for his dodge animation, it is just purple above his head. Nothing else, nothing more. Now let's turn his ultimate on so we can see the every third hit. And it actually has a weird particle come off of it, like some sort of sparks. Now let's do this one more time. Ready for battle. So we can see it. And I will return and get him some crit, because he does actually have a new crit animation. He does not have anything else for his return animation, though, which does suck. See, there we go. It's on. Now, as for his walking animation, it is about the same, although it does look like it's a little bit more... Maybe it's just the way the clothes are, but it looks a little bit more fluid. Okay, so let's use Enrage so we can see the textures. We see no real issues with them. I mean, the shoulder blades could use a little bit more of a etch to them. That's just one of my little issues. Now, as for crits, we see his crit animation is him actually spinning it above his head, like he is doing Counter-Strike. And that's about that. Now, let's just couple all these abilities together and leave Ramus to die. So, on to the next. Now we have Oktoberfest Gragas. We see no changes to his 4 animations whatsoever, except, I'll explain it in a second, but those are pretty much all of his normal skills. Now we have Ramus actually attacking me. So we have the Q, which does have a new particle effect. As you'll see, it has a yellowish orange ale that is coming off of it, and that is a change to the particle effect. Now we also have Gragas. When he drinks, he actually has, yet again, that same ale along with some new particles around himself. Now we actually have a change here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. It'll be hard to see, you might have to freeze it, but he leaves pretzels behind him when he dashes. Let's do it one more time. So he leaves pretzels behind him when he dashes. Also, his auto attack is essentially the same. Let's do this one more time. Okay, now as for his ultimate, let's zoom out all the way, and Fling Ramus. It yet again is that same ale color that is in all of his other abilities. So that is that for the Oktoberfest Gragas. But my only gripe with this, actually, hold on. Besides the texture work being a little bit shoddy in the boots and in the arms, I see no real issues with it, but they really should just put his dance animation into this, his custom return animation. Just make that his dance. That's pretty much all they have to do to make this skin better. Okay, on to the next. Now we have Justicar Syndra, who is actually really cool looking. She doesn't have orbs, as she has these auras where an orb would go. Now she actually she gets changes with her taunt, as the glow is actually yellow. The dance is the same, but we also see a change with her laugh as they get their really cool looking trail behind them. Now let's move over toward Ramus. Her basic attack has a trail with these particles as well. Now we also have her orb, which has yet again these really cool looking artifacts or runes as she uses them. Now when it actually is about to expire, it starts to get brighter and have really cool looking dots on it. Now with her pickup, it has a really interesting type of a chain, but it has about these same particle effects. Now let's put down an orb, zoom out a little bit, and fire it. So the orb has a different colored trail when it does this, and that is about that. So let's use a couple of these abilities, and let's put an orb extra orb down, and use her ultimate, which yet again does leave the orbs behind, and she can still manipulate them. So as for the look of Syndra herself, she has very good textures. I actually see no real issues. They're really sharp almost everywhere, and they look great. Now, as for any of her other abilities, I'd have to say the only issue I have is the orb expiration. It's kind of hard to actually tell what it looks like, unless you're really looking at it. While the other one had a very distinct blue that would appear when she would be using it. That is my only issue with the skin, but besides that, that is about that. So, if you enjoyed the content provided, leave a like. If you want to stay current, subscribe. If you think a friend will like this video, share it with them. And I'll talk to you all later.